Hey guys, it's Steve, and welcome back to part 2 of our Waterfall creation series. Last part we got our rocks, our terrain, and our brush created. Now we're ready to start setting up some particle systems and adding materials to our landscape. So let's jump right in. So first I'm going to add the material to my landscape, I think. Be a good place to start. Let's split my window here. Open up our node editor. Give us a little more room over here. And close this window off a little bit. Good. I can close that off too. So I'm going to add a new material. Let's just add in a new material. And let's just open up our first image texture. So that's going to be open. Let me check here. That's going to be our rock grassy. So we're going to open up our rock grassy and plug that into our diffuse. Okay. Now before we go any further, I need to unwrap my plane here, my terrain. So I'm going to go U, unwrap, and let me just check that that went good in my UV image editor. Oh, I need to scale it up a little bit along the Y, I see. So just scale it up and grab it along the Y-axis. And then you can scale it back down a little bit just to make it kind of a squarish shape is what we want. Grab along the Y, and that should be good. Now back to our node editor. We don't have to worry about, well, I guess we do, because I want to texture it across multiple times. So I'm going to add a texture coordinate and a mapping node, just like I did on my other obstacles or objects. I'm going to use the UV in the vector and the vector in the vector. So let's just start off by rendering this to make sure it's mapping it right, and it looks good. It looks like it's mapped properly, and that's good. So now let's texture that across our plane multiple times. We'll go, I don't know, 40 maybe? We want a lot. 40, 40, ooh, that's gonna be too many. 25. 25 and 25. That's too many too. That's too many too. Let's just try 9 or something like that. And that's looking better. It's looking better. It still seems a little much. Doesn't seem like it's really texturing evenly either, so that's a little bit curious. Alright, so that might work. Let's just start moving forward with more textures. So I'm going to duplicate my mapping node, connect this bottom one up as well. Actually, let's put this... it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And this one, we're going to duplicate a lot, I know that. So I'm going to go 55 or something like crazy. Duplicate my texture, sorry about the dogs barking in the background, and open up our ground plants texture, okay? Plug that one in. Now again, just like on our rock, to mix these two together, we're going to use an image texture. So I'm going to shift A, generated texture, I should say. And to be exact, it's going to be a noise texture. So we're going to do that. We're going to add in a color ramp, converter, color ramp, and boom, boom, like we do. Tighten these up, like so. Okay. Now, are we seeing anything? I'm not really seeing anything. It's a little bit strange. Let me just zoom in here a little bit. Got ground out here. Oh, I didn't connect that. Alright, there we go. Alright, now you can see you get this grassy, patchy grassy sound, which is good. Is what I want. And now I'm just going to add more detail and change the scale up a bit so it's not a crazy amount of grass. Something like that. True, that's not enough. 18. We'll try 18. We might change it. Now, that's good, but it's not exactly what we want. First off, the color of this ground plants needs some love. So let's go color, hue saturation, and darken it up a bit. No. Saturation-wise, it can go up a little bit. Darken it with the value a little bit. Yeah. That's looking better. Something like that, and then maybe go a little bit greener. Just for, not that much. 0.54. We'll try that. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll probably want to tweak our rock texture a little bit too. So put that in there, and maybe make it just a little bit darker. And the hue, yeah, the hue doesn't really need to change much. Okay, so you can see we're getting this pretty flat and plain still. But it's starting to look a little bit like we're looking for. I think this is a little bit too green, maybe. Let me see, make this 0.32. Yeah, that looks like it matches that a little better. Alright. Alright, so now we want to duplicate both of these. Okay, so I'm just going to box select the noise and color ramp, Shift D, and whoa, pull them underneath. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to flip this. Boom, just did that. And I'm going to change the scale up to be much larger on this one, okay? So we get some much finer detailed scale on this. Now I'm just going to add in a color mix multiply, and we'll pop these together. And maybe flip this. Oh, no, I think it's working. But let me just see. Oh, turn the multiply all the way up. Yes. So that is giving us a bunch more little tiny details in there. If I try flipping that, what does that look like? Oh, I guess it could be anyways. Doesn't really matter. But you get that broken up patchy look. So actually, I want to go back because basically this is our large group, okay? So I'm going to, this controls the amount of, let me see, shoot. Okay, and then if I go way over here and way over here, it's all moss except for the little piece. So let me see. This isn't exactly what I'm looking for. I think I might want to flip this one. Let me just try this. Flip this one and flip this one back. Okay, now does this one control? Yes. This one this one controls the large patches in the moss, and this one, okay, it's all moss. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. But just to be clarified, this is our large diffuse for the moss. So we set this up to be like our big large patches. Okay, maybe the scale's getting a little too big. 12. So we have these sharp patches, okay? Alright, let me just make them sharper. So we have rock and we have grass, alright? My ground plant, I'm going to make more saturated, just so it's more green. Yes. Ground plant. Now I'm going to take this ground and I'm going to break it up into even more little detailed stuff with this smaller noise scale. See? And now that's just breaking it up. So this is how we want it. This one is white black, this one is black white. Multiplied and factorized. Hope that wasn't too confusing, but we got her sorted out now, so that looks good. Now let's add in some glossy. So everything looks more realistic with glossiness. So this is basically like a large rock with just a little bit more detail for our ground. So I'm going to add in, excuse me, add in a shader, glossy, and pop this one on top. That one in bottom. Now it's totally everything glossy right now because of this. But what I'm going to do is just like what I did on my rock, I'm going to add in a color mix. Yep, make the bottom one complete white. Take the color, pop it in the top. Take this, pop it in the factor. And this is basically the amount of glossiness. No glossy when it's all factorized. Take it down and you start getting some shine coming in. So that is cool. And that is good. That's what I want. It looks fakey right now, and that's just because we haven't added our bump. This is when everything just blows your mind. So we're going to take our mix, put it in the height, connect it to the diffuse. Let me just pull this out here so it's more easy to see. And the glossy. Boom, boom, boom. And we get all those fine little details. A ton of them. A little too much actually, but not bad looking. Like I said, you probably want to turn the strength down a bit, but it really adds to it. Yes. I love bump. Bump is my favorite thing ever. Alright, so I think I need to adjust my lamp here a little bit. I think it's a little too angled. So I'm going to rotate it down a little bit. Okay, let's see what that's looking like. Yeah, that's kind of cool. You're getting it, that hitting that. And I think I need to adjust my glossiness a little bit here too. Make that like a 0.1 or something. Yeah, maybe. Maybe the opposite direction. It doesn't matter. Ooh, no, not that much. 0.3. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. So, let's open up our environment texture now. We have an environment texture. Use nodes. And choose environment texture. This is an HDR map. That's there again. There's a link to where you can get it. It's the Grand Canyon one. We're just gonna open up our 3K or 8K JPEG. We'll do the JPEG. Well, let's go with the 3K HD. Right, rendered. And ooh, it's too much. It's too much. It's good, but it's too much. Drop it down to like a 0.5. We don't want so much bright. Yeah, that's better. That is better. You can see how our scene is coming along quite nicely. Pretty happy with it so far. You might want to turn the bump up just a little bit, or maybe the distance. You could adjust with the distance a little bit too. That will make the it like larger bumps, I think, or something. Yeah, yeah. It's too bad my GPU isn't working right. I think I might just have to reboot, but that's okay. Yeah, that bump is too strong now. It's good, but it's just a little too strong. So can't go crazy with it, otherwise it looks bad. And another thing you can do is basically, let me see. Oh, you're taking a little while to render here now. Let me just zoom out. Let me zoom out at a large scale, the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, you could work on doing like isolating just the moss and doing a little bump for that. I think that's what I did. But yeah, you don't have to. And yeah, it still looks good. Still looks good. Okay, there we go. Yep. The glossy, that's the one thing. Put that back to like a 0.2, and I might make it Beckman too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and let's rotate the sun that way it's a little more. Yep, that should be good now, I bet. Oh yeah, you can hit the edge here now. That looks pretty darn good. So, I'm happy with that. Now, let's get on to the particle system. So we might tweak that later, but it's past the okay for the moment. And I'm going to go on to particle system. So, where do I want to go? Right here. We're creating some vertex groups. So go into weight paint, and let's just give ourselves some more room here. This first group is going to be called, let me see, there we go. It's going to be called rocks. Good, and we're going to add another one right away. I'm going to call this one trees. Ooh. Trees. There we go. That funny thing. Okay, so with the rocks selected, we want the rocks to be around in here a lot. You know, we want to be everywhere, but we want them to be on here a lot too, because that looks cool, breaks up our waterfall a little bit, and just looks good. So I'm just going to kind of go patchy around here. Ooh, okay, that's fine. Patchy, 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 patchy. There's no point in wasting too much up here. I'm going to hold control to go minus. Does that work? It doesn't seem like it works. I got to go subtract and take some of it out up there, because there's no point wasting them. We won't see them, you know. So we'll just take those out. Pretty good. Go back to add. Get a few more in there. Yeah. Yep. That's good. Maybe just a little bit back there. Okay. We go 0 to cover everything. Yeah, get a little in there too. Hello. How come it's not adding? Okay, there you go. Alright, that should be good. There might be a little too much in here. Let me just kind of take some of that out, just so it's a little bit more broken up and how the rocks are placed. Should turn the strength up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, take this out too, because it's not going to be seen. It's not going to be seen. There's no point in wasting your CPU. And bingo. Good. So that's good for that. Now let's switch over to our trees. Now the trees, we want less of them in the water because most of them won't grow there. So I'm going to switch to add. Let me bring this a little smaller. Okay. And just put them around. Round it, a little bit inside of it, but around it for the most part. These are going to be just up, about. Good, good, good. Huh? Maybe just get like a tiny bit in there. Because it looks kind of cool. Like maybe they grew up there when the waterfall wasn't quite so strong, and now the waterfall is bigger and presenting a little bit more of a problem. But that's good, and good. That should be enough, I think. Again, you can tweak it later, but I'm going to go with that. So, let's start with the rocks. Particle system, new particle system. Split that. Scale in. Center that up. And hair. We got hair coming out everywhere. Now we're going to change it to group. Group, we're going to choose rocks. And you see we got our rocks everywhere. Choose our vertex group rocks as well. Now we got them in the right places. Put the random size way up. Put the scale way up. Ooh, that's way up. Pull the scale back down again. Yeah. Yeah. That's looking a little too crazy. But, might want to woo. See? That's a little touchy there. Okay, I'm going to go with something like that. But now I'm going to go to my rocks. And I'm going to take my big one. I'm going to scale up even bigger. Just to give it... Yeah. Just to give it those better variation. Now if it goes 0... Whew. A little bit too... Well, it's getting close. But maybe I shouldn't make... Let me go back to my rock layer. Maybe I should make this one a little smaller and make one like this one the bigger rock. Okay? Yeah, I think that might just work a little better. I think it might. Hold up. Not that one. This one be a bigger one. This will be the one that's big and bad. Yeah. A little too big. But you get what I'm going for. Okay. That's looking pretty good, actually. Pretty happy with that. I'm surprised because sometimes you spend more time tweaking it to get what you like. I am going to tweak it just a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit more rocks. Let me go weight paint. Put a little more rocks right there. Yeah. Come on, get some over there. There we go. And that's good. That's good. It's not bad. It's really not that bad. And we could tweak it more with random seeds and such, but that is what looks pretty good to me. Let me save my project right now. And let's just see what it's rendering at right now. So this might take a little bit of time. But you can see it's not looking too bad at all. Might be not getting quite enough sun in here. And I might want to turn up my world a little bit brighter. Maybe I went a little too dark on that. Yeah. Okay. Let's try and get a little bit more sun in on there. It looks just a little dark, if you ask me. So, yeah, let's rotate it down a little bit more. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, let's try that. 0 and render. That should be good. I'm thinking that's gonna be good. Yep. That's better. Now let me just scroll in here and let her render a little bit and see if everything's working properly. Okay, so the bump is too crazy still. Bump is too crazy. Let me adjust it. Maybe I should put the height back. Oh, the strength is at 3. That's why I meant to go point. I think I'll just go 0.5. And there we go. I was crazy high on the bump, and that was looking bad. And now it's a lot better. It's a lot brighter now too. That was the issue. Fixed it. Fix it. And it's looking much better. Still a little bit glossy maybe. I might want to bring that window back a little bit. Go node editor. And make this glossiness a little bit sharper, like a 0.15. Yeah. And make this 9.6, just so it's not quite so much glossy. Okay. Okay. I like that. Good. Move on. Now we put our trees on. Now the trees are going to make it render a little bit slower, so just be ready to know that when you do the trees, you're going to get a little bit slower rendering. But now that you know that, let's put the trees on. Again, hair and vertex group trees. Now, I remember that we did not make a group out of these three, so we got to box select the three of them, Control G, and name these trees. Alright, we got that cleared up. Good. Now, we can go group, trees. Now, there we go. Boom, trees everywhere. Now, I believe they're going to... Oh, I'm sorry about the dog barking in the background. Don't mind the dog. Now what I like to do if I'm getting this slow kind of viewport render here is I'll go to my modifiers, turn the preview down. We don't need to see it, it will still look good when you render it. Turn the preview down there, and then we can also even turn off our rocks if those are slowing us down. So let's turn off the rocks. There. Now we have just the trees. Still acting a little bit sluggish. Maybe I'll turn the preview down even more. But maybe we have too many trees here too. Possibly. So I'm just going to go side view. Whew. Just quit being so jumpy on me. Go particle settings. Let's turn down this amount of trees. It's kind of being crazy right now. Crazy slow. Let's make the number down to like 250. This is kind of hard to work with right now. 250. Go to 250. Good. Good. That's a little better. Let me zoom in on this and take a look at what we're seeing. Are they on their sides? Are they? I can't really tell. Let me turn the scale up a little bit. That'll make it easy to tell. No, I think they're standing straight. That looks pretty good, actually. No, they're kind of crazy. Let me go advanced. And let's choose rotation. Now they should all be crazy. Now let's go global Z, and now they'll all be on their side. Good. I mean, yes, that's actually good, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our trees here, select them all. Whoop, just the trees. Rotate them 90 degrees. No, it sounds a little weird, but it works. See, now our trees are all standing nice and straight and tall and pretty. So let's go randomize them a little bit now. Randomize that, and randomize that a little bit. Cool. Cool. Now I'm going to add some children to these as well. Some children, because they render faster than just adding more trees. And whew, getting a little bit of lag here now. Change the children down. Take the children back a little bit. Just want like 4, maybe 3. Let me see what that looks like. 3. Yeah, that's better. And now I gotta change some settings here. It's annoying that I was running a little bit choppy. It's annoying. Seems like, yeah, I should be able to be moving faster. Maybe we did something wrong. Let me see here. There's the rocks. There's the trees. Oh, did I make that part of the group? No. Let me check if let me check. If one of these are a little bit too, like, sometimes you'll get like a modifier put on something if you do something wrong, then it'll be getting lag, but everything seems pretty good. Maybe I just have too many of them. Maybe. But alright, that looks pretty good so far, actually. Pretty happy with that. Let me go to my particle settings, and the roundness is what we want. I'll make that like a 0.3. Good. And now the radius we're gonna make like a 0.32. Spread them out a little bit more from each other. Maybe more, 0.5. Good. And give them some random size. 0.5. Good. And let's give let's give them full random size. Good. Now let's give this scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, and Let's give this for, oh come on, you're not scrolling very fast. 0.3, some Brown motion, that's always cool, and some random size. So we'll make this like a 0.6 or something. Okay, so I'm kind of frustrated by this lag, and it's possible that one of these trees is too high poly. So let's just kind of check out the polygons. That one doesn't look terrible. You can tell by selected, I believe. This one has 1842. Tab in that one. This one has 11,000. It's a little bit more, and this one has, yeah. So this one's the highest poly. Let's take out one of these trees, just to be a little bit faster. It's a shame, but it's necessary for our workflow. So maybe I can also turn my preview down a little bit more, or turn it off. Ooh, can't really turn it off. Huh? I don't know why this is so laggy. This is weird. Let me try changing this, turning this particle setting off. Yep, it's all that tree. It's all this tree, but oh well. I guess we just gotta live with it. So, I'm gonna change my particle settings and make them bigger. My trees are too small, so I'm gonna go 0.2. That doesn't look too bad. And I'm gonna change my render on these up to be like a 15. So it's gonna render more of them, even though I don't see them. And go up here. Ooh. Did I just change the size somewhere? What just happened? Command Z. Good. I don't know what I changed. Just don't do that. Scroll up. Good. I'm gonna change the number up to be about 1,000. I know it's scary. Come on. 1,000. We can leave these turned off though once we got them and only render them. Good. Good. I'm gonna go to my modifiers. So I have a fast viewport in the render. I'm gonna turn off the preview on these. Good. So I can still move around fast in my preview, but when I render, it'll render everything. So now I'm going to try rendering everything just to see if we're on the right page. So I'll pause the recording and jump to the end, but I'm rendering. Alright, so I rendered it out somewhat, and I can see that I'm getting a little bit too big of trees, but I like the placement, and I think it will work good. So I'm just going to go back to my particle settings here and change the scale of these here down to like a 0.06, and I'm thinking that will be good and shouldn't need any more tweaking. It also rendered very fast. I don't know why it was just lagging up the why it lags this up so much when I turn it on, because it renders fast, just lags up my viewport like nothing else does. So it's kind of a bummer, but just leave it turned off once you have it set up if you're having that issue. So I'm going to turn it off now. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off. And it's off. Whew. Alright, so that should be good. We got that set up and the other part set up. So let's add in our final touch, which is the lake, and then it will be on to the next part, which will be adding the waterfall and compositing. So I'm just going to finish this up with the lake. It's going to be a plane. Whoops. Let me delete it. Let me Shift S, cursor to center. Yep, that's good. Shift add in our plane, scale it up, nice and big, and drop it down at our water level. Our water level might want to be back a little bit more. We're going to back that up a little bit, just so we can see it a little bit, and kind of pull it down a little bit. Yes. So this is our water level, our floor level down here. And this is just going to be, I've done a lot of materials like this on previous tutorials. Pretty simple. It's going to be, turn that off, good, new material. It's not going to be a diffuse. Well, it will be actually, we'll be using a little bit of diffuse, but it's going to be mostly glossy as our shader. And we're just going to mix the diffuse with the glossy. Let me render this now. Okay. So we completely white material, but I'm going to mix it with the glossy, and I'm going to Shift add in a color texture, image, no, not image texture. Texture, noise texture. Put that in as a factor. And, add in a color ramp too, that's what I'm missing. Color ramp. And we'll tighten those colors way up. Yes. So you'll see it's working here. We need to make the scale of this much smaller. We'll go 55. Yeah, we're getting it working now. Getting the glossy, and we're getting that. So let's make the glossy completely see-through. And there you go. You can see what we have going here. The white is going to be the kind of the waves coming off. The rapids, you could say, a little bit. So I'm going to do that, pull it back even more, pull it back, whew, not so much. Yep, something like that, and I might give a little bit of a distortion too, because that kind of looks like a wave when you get that working. Good. Now if you wanted to animate this like I did in my video, you just hit I on these keyframes and animate them. To you know, change the scale, you can even change the location with a mapping node. So that is cool. Let me turn the detail up to like an 8 to get a little more detail in there. And I think I can go drop the scale down a little bit more. A little bigger rapids. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of roughness to this. Whew, a little bit goes a long way. Oh no, I went wrong. I'm going to go a 0.01. Yeah. So you have this reflection just a little bit glossy now. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Maybe make that a little bit more, just a little bit brighter. 0.02 might be good. Yeah. So that is the water basically. You can make that more faint if you want by pulling that back. It's a little bit harsh right now, in my opinion. Pull it back a little bit, maybe more even. But you get those kind of rapids in there, and I like that. I'll go 40 on that. So that is the water material. Done. Done and dusted, pretty much. Now, on my scene, I added a few more particle systems for like ferns and stuff, and you could do that if you wanted, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to do one more render now on our scene, and if it looks decent at this point, that will be the end of this part. And we'll check back for part 3 on the final. But first, let's do a render. Alright, so our trees need just a little bit of love. They're way too bunched together, I found. So let me go back to 3D view and check that out. I gotta make the radius much stronger. I'm gonna go up to like a 2.3. And I'm gonna give it some shape. Just give them some shape and a little bit of clumping maybe. We'll see what that looks like, and let's double the amount. Because they render fast, I'm sorry about the dog barking. Because they render fast, we can go 3000. They just don't work well in the viewport for some reason. I don't know, but we'll render this and now we'll see. Alright, and that looks a lot better, You can see some of the varying colors coming into the trees there that we added to them, and they're looking a lot nicer. I have a bare spot back there and a little bit right here. So I might just do a little bit of weight painting on that. Make sure I have my trees selected. Let's just put a little bit of trees in there, a little bit of trees back there. But that should do it, guys. I'm really, really happy with the way this is turning out. I'm glad that I'm managing to do this in a tutorial format because it is a pretty complex scene. I hope you guys are having fun and excited for part 3. Part 3 should finish it up. We'll render out our smoke and do all the compositing details. So it should be very much fun. And I'm excited for it. So I'm just going to let this render out and finish, and then I'll be back in part 3. So yeah, this is looking not bad. Getting some more trees in here. I added more trees down here, so I should see some coming through in here now. Let me see. Yep, I'm getting some in here now. That's good. Some more back there, and that is looking pretty good. So that is going to be the end of part 2, and I'll be back with part 3. Bye bye.